Newton's on the show today, and we're going to figure out an SLF-100 feeding regimen. Hey there, Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the OCGFAM show to you, my YouTube buddies. What's going on? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. Another day, another nutrient inoculant product thing we're doing. Full on, we did that one. Microbe Life, we did that one. Cultured, we did that one. What did we do? We're looking at how to fit all these things together into a Nectar regimen. So you got all these different products. You're like, which one do I use on which day? Does this one interact with that one? Should I use this one instead of that one? Should I use them both? Should I use them alternatively? We're going to figure that out. Today, we're talking to Newton from SLF-100. And so let's just get into it. I'm going to get Newton on the old screen. We're going to ask him some questions. Hey there, we're here with Newton. Newton, what's going on?
Howdy.
Newton from SLF-100. It's good stuff. Well, you know that. You make it. So I got a few questions for you because what we're doing is we're trying to figure out a unified, comprehensive feeding regimen for Nectar and all the stuff that people use with Nectar, because a lot of times they're using a lot of this stuff. And we're wondering, should you alternate them? Should you use them together? Is this thing competing with that thing? So we're trying to figure the whole thing out, get it sorted out. And yours is probably the simplest part of the equation because it's just one thing and you pretty much use it all the time from what I know. But I do want to go through the questions with you so we can try to get this sorted out. So when you're using SLF-100 in a Nectar regimen and probably using maybe some photosynthesis, maybe all the Microbe Life products, using full on, using some culture, those kinds of things, the life cycle of the plant. So, you know, clone or seed, veg, bloom. Do you use the same amount of SLF through the whole process?
It depends. Yes. The only time we change the amount is when it's sitting in a hydro environment. We would want to drop the amount that we're using because it's just a waste.
I gotcha. Okay.
Oh, so we're always using the same amount. Increasing it sometimes helps in certain situations, but
we can get into those because that's what we're going to talk about later on. So what I'm trying to get now is to get the principal of each company, do a quick interview with them to find out how this all kind of fits together, the basics of it, of the root drench. Then we're going to get into the foliar aspect of it. Then once we've got kind of a schedule worked out, we got that thing together, then we're going to talk about how you modulate that and why you might modulate that to affect the growth of your plant, things you're seeing in the plant, that whole thing. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I think. So the feed cycle, here's the situation with a lot of these things, is a lot of these things people do like on the day they water or they do at some particular time. But if we're pushing hard, and that's kind of what this is about, is if you're running like, 4, 5, maybe 6 plants, and you're looking to get the absolute maximum out of those. You're not doing 100 where you got to be worried about, profit and loss, and you're not doing one and just throwing some one shot on it and moving on. This is for someone that's really trying to maximize their crop. So in that instance, when you're doing a feed tea, feed flush, pushing hard all the way through, what days would you use the SLF? Would you do it with all those? Would you do it as part of the tea? Would you do it as part of every Nectar regimen? What do you think?
I personally would do it with every feed, and I would also put it in with my compost tea.
Okay. Just because you're pushing, and so it's helpful in all those situations.
Absolutely.
Okay. Is there anything that, so you're saying you can mix this with pretty much everything as far as the stuff we're doing, right?
Yeah, you can mix it with everything because everything is already, especially in the Nectar for the Gods line, it's ready for the microbial environment.
Okay.
That's what it's made for. So yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything of all this, the common stuff we use, that you wouldn't mix it with?
I would mix it with Olympus up or.
Okay, so like on your flush day?
pH up or pH down.
Okay, so if you were doing just those, but if you're doing a regular Nectar feeding, good to go. If you're doing, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the last thing, and I guess people probably know this, but you put your stuff in at the end after you pH. Is that correct?
Yeah, after you pH, then add SLF. It's really just about that little splash of pH up and keeping that microbial field in balance. I mean, it's really only going to potentially affect a small amount in that mixture, but pH first and then add SLF.
And just it's a minor point, but if you were using on that particular day, you were using Bloom Chaos, would you do the Bloom Chaos last or do the SLF last, or does it not really matter? You'd want to do them pretty quick and then move on.
Right. You could do them either way.
Either way.
You could do SLF last, or you could do Bloom Chaos last if that's what you want to do.
But
you want to be quick.
Yeah, you want to be quick on that because you're starting to get some reactivity in there. So, and the reason we're putting the SLF in last is because we've got to stabilize pH at that point. Okay.
Right.
You've been the simplest one so far. Carl talked for like half an hour.
That's it.
That's it. That's all I needed. We're good to go. I will be getting back with you on the. Now let me just ask you this because I don't think there is. There's really no foliar application on the SLF, is there?
You know, the microbes that we use in SLF, they're all rhizobacteria. So they want a root zone. There could be some benefit, and I've heard of some people getting great benefit using it as a foliar, but it wasn't designed for that. So just keep it in the root zone. Okay.
Then I won't bug you next week on the foliar thing, but the week after that, we're going to be talking again about this one. So I'll have a big schedule up here where I'll have it all worked out, and then I'll ask you about modulating that if there's some instances, like you said, where you would change it up a little bit to get better results or based on what you're seeing from your plants. Other than that, that's it. You did awesome. You killed it.
Awesome.
All right. I will talk to you later.
All right, Bob. Bye.
Okay, that was easy peasy. We sure appreciate Newton doing that. We're getting down to it. Let me figure out who else we might need to get into this conversation, and maybe we'll do one of those tomorrow, or we'll move on to talking to Scott over at Nectar for the Gods. I'm not quite sure where we're going with this, but we got all the main ones. I think we need to talk to Blacksmith and some of these other guys, but I'll figure that out. Next episode, we'll be talking to someone. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. For more information about anything on today's show, go to our website, OCGFAM.com. And if you buy anything while you're there, use the code OCGFAMShow. It's going to save you 20%, and it's a lot of fun. The OCGFAM Show, it's pretty good. It happens every day. It's the OCGFAM Show. See you tomorrow.
Hold on 1 second.
All right. That's awesome! I'm recording, you know.